Hello everyone, my name is Anthony Wilson. Welcome back to Magic Talk. Today we're going to continue discussing some of the cards spoiled from Scars of Mirrodin. So let's get to it. Got a lot of exciting stuff today. We're going to talk about first is Painful Quandary. This card is seems like it's full of awesome right here. A lot of friends of mine have been trying to work on mono black control, and this seems like a great card to fit right into that deck. 5 mana, enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless he or she discards a card. Seems like a great way for mono black control to kind of keep things even and keep the pressure on them. So definitely look out for this card. If you're going to be playing in Standard, you can probably expect this card to break into the competitive scene. Seems really good. Let's see what else here. We got Mer Reservoir. This card seems awesome. Probably looks like they're pushing the Mer really hard. Probably can expect to see some kind of a competitive Mer deck come out of Standard. Whether it'll be Tier 1 or not, I'm not even sure. But definitely something you'll probably run into here and there. So here we have an artifact cost 3 mana. Tap to add 2 mana to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast Mer spells or activated abilities of Mer. Pay 3, tap it, return target Mer card from your graveyard to your hand. Mer seems like they're starting to build a pretty good deck here. Cards you can consider running with this would be like Eldrazi Monument to make all your dudes indestructible and give them flying and +1/+1. Also, every turn when you sack a Mer creature, you can return this, or you can use this card to return that Mer from the graveyard to play, so you never run out of dudes to sacrifice to Eldrazi Monument. So, seems like a really good card right there. Grind Clock is another card I want to talk about. It just looks like a lot of fun. This is probably something you're going to see on the kitchen tables a lot of casual decks, maybe even limited format, who knows. But card definitely looks like it's a lot of fun. Slice and Twain, however you want to pronounce it, however it's pronounced. 2 green and 2, destroy target artifact or enchantment, draw a card. At instant speed, I think this card is pretty good. I know of a few people that are probably going to be playing this in Standard as a way to get rid of some annoying artifacts or enchantments. So, definitely something that's going to see play in Standard. Kuldotha Phoenix. I think this card is freaking awesome. We're losing Oblivion Ring. We're also losing Path to Exile. So definitely gives this card some opportunities here, and makes this card. This card's full of a lot of potential. Thanks to losing those 2 big cards. 3 red and 2. Flying Haste 4/4. Metalcraft. Pay 4. Return Kuldotha Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield. And you can only play this during your upkeep and only if you have 3 or more artifacts. The fact that it has haste and flying, so it has evasion and it has haste, seems really good. And like I said, we're losing Path to Exile and Oblivion Ring, 2 cards that can actually remove this from the game. So I think one of the biggest ways to stop this would be Condemn. I can't right now. I guess I'm drawing a blank, but I can't really think of anything else that would remove this from the game. Oh, I guess Journey to Nowhere is a really good one. So, other than those 2 cards, I think this card has a lot of potential. It's probably going to be seeing a lot of play in the red deck, probably right next to Koth. So, watch out for this guy. Here's a card that's amazing, I think, in my opinion. Some of you might think it's an overstatement, but I think this card is crazy good, especially at a common. 2/2 flyer for 1 white seems pretty good. The drawback, however, is not even that bad. 0 casting cost artifacts is the obvious part. You can play with this, so you can you can cast this dude, then replay your Ornithopter, Mox Opal, your Memnite. Doesn't matter. Other things you can think about: return Contagion Clasp or Contagion Engine to your hand and replay that. Putting more -1/-1 counters on creatures, keeping the board in control. What about an extended? We could be seeing this with Sigil Distinction. Play this guy, return the Sigil Distinction to your hand, replay Sigil Distinction, and add all the counters back onto the Sigil. So it seems really good there. What else we got here? Precursor Golem. This card seems really good. You can it's 9 power for 5 mana. Now what's supposedly, I guess, the drawback is whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single golem, that player copies that spell for each other golem that spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of these golems. So yes, one lightning bolt can take out all three of these golems, but you can also think about other things like, what about giant growth or vines of vastwood, or any of these kinds of spells that could pump these dudes or give them some kind of a cool ability to help you swing through. So this card is actually really decent, and probably see some cool tricks with this guy that we're not expecting. Also, you can return this guy to your hand with Giant Hawk. When this comes into play, return one of the golems this golem to your hand and cast it to make 2 more golem tokens. So definitely a lot of potential here too. Here's 2 really amazing cards. Let's start with True Conviction. 6 mana. Creatures you control get double strike and lifelink. We're seeing a lot of the Soul Sisters deck. I've been seeing it pop up all over the place. It's really good. I've played against it a lot. It's a really good deck. Now imagine if your Baneslayers had double strike. Imagine if your Sarah Ascendants had double strike. Imagine that, any of these guys you play have double strike and lifelink. I mean, it makes the deck really good. Along with anything else, we've been seeing that the white is pushing really hard for the artifacts. It has the enchantment that all artifacts get +2/+2. So putting this right next to it, your Mer dudes or any other artifact dudes you swing have double strike and lifelink seems really good. So it seems like a really strong enchantment there. I think it's something we'll probably keep your eye on there. It'll you'll probably end up playing against it at some point or another. It's a great replacement for the other. Oh man, the Bant enchantment. It's drawing a blank again right now, but it's definitely a great replacement for that. Right next to it here we have Skin Render. Now this card is really, really good in my opinion. When it comes into play, or when it enters the battlefield, put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature, and it itself is a 3/3, all for 4 mana. So, not overlooking the fact that this can kill a lot of the small dudes out there. Also, you think about shrinks your Titans down to just 3/3s. What if your Baneslayer Angel is only swinging for 2 every turn? Stuff like that. So good card to keep in mind if you're building anything with black in it. This is a great card. I believe it would make a great addition to black decks all over the place. So definitely keep this card in mind. Let's see what else we got here. This card seems awesome. Great counterspell. Cancel saw some play before we had Mana Leak. And I think with this new set coming out, and a lot of the artifacts artifacts are going to be all over the place. Obviously, we have them in M11 now. We're going to have them here in Scars of Mirrodin. So you can definitely plan on seeing people casting this for just 2 blue more times than not. So with its because it's Metalcraft here. As long as you control 3 or more artifacts, it costs 1 less. So definitely a 2 blue counter target spell is something that I'm sure blue players are pretty excited about all over the place. Darksteel Sentinel. 6 mana is a 3/3 with Flash. He's Vigilance and Indestructible. I think this is a great card for all kinds of control decks, especially just for all over the place, any kind of deck. He is kind of lacking evasion, and he's only a 3/3, but he's still very solid and extremely hard to get rid of. If you're just flashing him into block, or if you're flashing him in to start attacking your opponent next turn. Definitely a great card. All kinds of decks all over the place. So probably seeing this pop up. I'm thinking in like mono blue control or blue white controller or somewhere along those lines. He's a great blocker. He's a great dude to. It's pretty good. Like you can end a turn, cast this dude at the end of turn, untap, cast Day of Judgment, start swinging back for 3. So definitely a good card right there. Here's another one that I think was interesting. I still don't know how to feel about this one. Shape Anew. It's kind of like the polymorph for artifacts, but not quite. It's a little tricky here. You have to kind of look at it closely. The controller of target artifact sacrifices it, then reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals an artifact card. That player puts that card onto the battlefield, then shuffles all other cards revealed this way into his or her library. I thought about this card for a little bit and realized that it's really hard to have non-artifact ways to produce artifact tokens. So it's like polymorph. It's easy to get rid of your to produce tokens, get rid of them, and search for just a couple creatures that are in your deck. This, on the other hand, you need other artifacts, so you never know what you're going to run into when you actually cast this spell. So you could run into the artifact that you just sacrificed. But in the same note, if it's like Contagion Engine or Contagion class, when they come into play, you get their effect, and then you could sacrifice it to this and go get another Contagion Engine and keep going and keep the board clear. So that's a good idea. Another card I was thinking about was back up here with the Golems. You target one of the Golems, you now get 3 instances of that spell, which allows you to just pretty much cycle through your deck and pull out 3 different artifact cards and put them right into play. So definitely some crazy synergy with that card. I'm kind of anxious to see how this one pans out, because like I said, this is an interesting spell, and I still don't know how I feel about it. So excited to see what some people come up with right there. But that's pretty much all I got for today. I'm sorry, some of these other cards I skipped over. They're still really good. I just tried to, due to time constraints, try to pick some of the biggest ones that I thought were pretty cool and had a lot of potential. So if I missed some of the cards you wanted me to talk about, I apologize. But definitely let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.